Heartless, but I'm not though. Don't have to prove it, keep it music, Southside, birth the psycho. A public threat like a
Hello and welcome to the How Do You View You podcast with your host, Griffinstein. This is the podcast about how you view you, asking yourself the tough questions so that you can live a better life with you and the others in the space. Today we're going to talk about family support and almost got bit by a dog. That's the art of storytelling. That's going to be the storytelling one. And updates on Griffinstein and Ocaar and all the other stuff. Anyway, so I was at an event the other day with Zaylon and Nita Nee. She was a guest on Melanated Harmony. They have a parents resource group for kids in West Contra Costa County that helps. So they both had problems with their kids being not manhandled, but handled different than other kids. Nita's son was really suspended for something that was instigated by other kids and told that he had anger management. Anyway, it was a story. And she found that it was just too hard to deal with, those kind of things. I digress. What the thing is we went to, they launched it and her family was there, family support. Her mother was there, gluing stuff up. I'm gonna shoot up pictures and everything, but because I was there, I was helping also. Her mother was there, her twin brothers were there, her son was there. Everybody was there helping her. And it's not that it was a beautiful thing to see because I don't, see that. A lot of us don't see that in our own families. And so I was impressed, and it kind of just made me feel, a little bit happy, happy for her, but in the same sense, like sad for myself, but not sad. It's just a different feeling when you see the support. I'll tell you this way, because her mother, she performed her song, Women on the Rise, and her mother was singing it. Her mother knew her whole song. Her brother knew her whole song. Everybody knew the song. I think if my song, if I played a song and my mother passed in her car, she wouldn't even know that it was me. Nobody, they have my CDs, but they're still in plastic. And I understand. I do very dark music, but I'm your son. Anyway, we're not going to go into that. We're just going to go into how I felt when I saw that. And we're going to say this. My mother, and my father died like 100 years ago. So, but if my mother and my brothers and sisters and cousins and nieces and everybody, if everybody was behind me when I'm doing these certain things, I would be so powerful. I feel like I would just be so powerful because you can't tell me nothing. My mama knows my song, or my brother, bumps my song and does these things and knows that I do these podcasts and everything. But that's just the thing I'm talking about. So my question to myself was, is this a sad thing or is this a bad thing? And I am a person that, most people expect things because they would do them. So I expect support because I support. Now, sometimes you have to ask for support if you want support. And for a lot of us, it's hard to do. You don't want to really ask for stuff, but you really want the stuff. So in this episode of How Do You View You, that's what we're talking about is, if you want support, you have to ask for support. And then if they tell you no after that, or if, they don't help, then, then you can take the next step. But don't get all upset about support that you never asked for, or support that because I'm your son, you should just do it. I'm your brother, you should just do it. That's not how the world works, unfortunately, even with family. Now, I have a family that we chose each other, so they all support. And sometimes you just got, like I posted before, sometimes you have to celebrate who shows up and not complain. Use that energy that you would use to complain about who didn't show up and celebrate the ones that did. So again, I'm back on that same thing. It's like, don't check me on who I surround myself with when you wasn't checking on me when I was by myself. it's a thing that we have to ask ourselves. And as entrepreneurs and all of this stuff, it's rough. It is rough. And sometimes you have to get your own bootstraps up. And you shouldn't have to. Somebody should be able to celebrate you and feel it. And I don't even accept celebration sometimes. That's my own thing. I'm learning to accept accolades and stuff like that. So anyway, ask yourself, what questions you need to ask yourself. Art of storytelling. I almost got bit by a dog. So I work for a utility, and I walked into a thing. I was at a house, and he had to get cut off. So I walked around. It was built up. They about to tear it down, and I walked around. And then when I came back, there was a dog there, a pit bull with big old sets of titties. So I'm sitting there like, oh, what? I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. It started barking. But, I was at the point where it was like, well, you're taught to stand firm and, don't run, don't do all of these things. But I tell you what, I did try to turn. I turned to run and he jumped. And it was far away. It was maybe 4 car lengths away from me because I hit the corner. But it every time I turned to walk away, the bitch jumped. The bitch jumped like, oh, okay. So I was like, I can't turn my back. So I tried to leave and she wouldn't let me. So I said, bitch, go. And it just started barking harder. And I wasn't leaving. I wasn't, at that point, I wasn't leaving. So I had to stand my ground. So the dog just ran full speed at me. But I never stopped doing this. Like I was Michael Jackson. I was like, man, you gonna go, bitch. And it just jumped up. I smelled the breath and it just dropped in front of me. And the whole time I'm looking at it and she just went and then turned around and then here come the dog, the owner. Come here, Bessie. What are you doing? Don't bark. Don't worry, she don't bite. I said, well, how does she eat if she don't bite? And he was like, ha ha ha. I'm like, ha ha, hell, nigga, I could have, and I could have been bit. So I did, it's that kind of a thing. And it wasn't bravery. I was trying to explain to a couple people. It wasn't bravery. It was just like I tried to leave and I couldn't. I tried to do this and I couldn't. It was more of I'm not running. I'm not running. I'm not brave. But so the lesson in this is when I explain, at work they want to hear about near misses so that we could figure out what we did and do better next time. And everybody was saying, well, you should have just sprayed the dog. And without going too deep into it, I explained to them I didn't want to hurt the dog. But if the dog would have bit me, I would like to have destroyed the dog. And what I mean by that is some people have their fear. And based on their fear, they will attack others. Not that the person, what I'm saying is a lot of people will bark. You can't kill somebody or hurt somebody just because they bark. Or kill them just because you thought their hand was a gun. Or because you're scared as you're doing your job. So what I'm saying is police. So that's what I tried to explain to them. I'm not about to hurt a dog just because she's doing what's in her nature. Now, I don't know if the puppies was near or nothing. She could have been protecting something. So she's trying to protect something from me, and then I spray her in the eyes, and then she can't see for 2 days. I don't know. I just felt bad. But now, again, if the bitch would have bit me, I'm going to choke the life out of it. But I was attacked. So that's my lesson of the storytelling. And it probably wasn't a good storytelling, but that's what happened. And it's hard to live the way that you talk sometimes. So most people would have just sprayed the dog. And I don't like dogs. Pit bulls, I don't like dogs. I don't like no dogs at all. I don't even eat hot dogs anymore because we don't eat meat no more. But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. And I wasn't scared. You know how you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach? I never was scared. I didn't want to be bit though. That's the other thing. I knew I didn't want to be bitten. But anyway, that's my take on it. It's just You know, if you're scared, you know, go to church, choose another job, choose something else. Then if you feel like these people or these animals are dangerous to you, then you shouldn't be a dog catcher. You know, then if you're scared of dogs, then you're going to kill every dog. So anyway, that's more philosophizing, but it's all good. Well, it ain't all good, but you know what I'm trying to say. What's going on? So updates, Griffinstein updates. So recently I did a dumb thing. I went on a San Jose bike party. Well, that wasn't a dumb thing, but I was on a BMX. It ended up being 31 miles on a BMX with a seat the size of a Beyblade. That shit hurts so bad that it hurts now. It hurts now that I sit. And I shouldn't have did that. I have a bigger bike, but I bought this BMX bike. I'm going to flash it up. And I'm going to change it all to purple. But I bought it from Rich City Rides. Brian helped me pick it out. Backwards Brian, which brings me to another thing. Backwards Brian is attempting to set a new world record by riding from San Francisco to LA on an age ride, but backwards. I'm going to put some film up here and how you can help. He needs to, I think it's June 5th, he has to have the money by. I think he has a $3,000 goal. And we're going to write some stuff up and see if Red Bull or Google, Apple, somebody will sponsor him to break the world record. He's backwards Brian. He wheelies backwards. He works at Rich City Rides. So that's one thing that we're trying to start a campaign for, to get him fully sponsored. I think him and Maria, it's a lady named Maria that's going to ride it too. And it's 500 miles backwards. That's quite a feat. And he will break the record. Now, it's not a record. He will set the record. That's different than breaking a record. This is something he's doing on his own. Young guy. Go to Rich City Rides, and I'm going to pop my bike up. Go get you one of these Colt bikes. Oh, my God. It makes you feel like a little kid. Because it's like but mine's is a 29er, which means it's not the little BMX bikes people ride. It's the big ones. So, and I got to learn how to wheelie. Because this dude is running around, you know, surfing on his bike and riding backwards, and everybody looking. And I'm like, I got to be able to at least pop a wheelie. So I'm going to have to learn how to pop a wheelie. We got Griffinstein, the process with RBX. We shooting a video, hopefully the first week in April. We're going to use Strike 5 Films, Jason. We met at CoBiz, and we're going to start, I'm going to start fellowshipping with everybody in all of these things so that we can get everything going. It's going to be a good thing. It's going to be, I'm going to wear makeup. They're going to put makeup. It's going to be a real official thing, a real official set, a real official you got to start putting money into yourself to get these things. The song process just organically it got some radio play through Contact. Shout out to Contact. Some play. It's at 80,000 streams right now. Nuremberg, shout out to Nuremberg and St. Louis and Buffalo. I'm gonna have to get out to these places and I did do and that's probably helped also. I sent some advertising material to some places in Nuremberg. I never saw it. They never sent it, but it looks like it's working. And St. Louis, I really wanted to go to St. Louis anyway. Dark shout out to everybody, really, because when I'm looking at the stuff on Spotify, it's like Nuremberg, Brazil, Sao Paulo, Bucharest. It's just all kinds of people that's really listening to the song, and I appreciate it. And a shout out to RBX because we're gonna do the video, and I'm gonna have to talk to him soon to see how we can get him to do that. I know they busy over there now. Death Row is back in. I know they probably do a big tour, so I might have to get in there quick and do my thing. What else? Check out Nita Me, her parents' resource. If you have a child in the West Contra Costa district, you should really go talk to them anyway, just because it's things going on in extra programs that they will be privy to, and you need to know about it. They're at the Multicultural Bookstore, which not the store, but the Girls Inc. building. They are in the Girls Inc. building. I'm gonna flash up some information. We're going to be partnership, as Ocaar, we're going to be partnership with everybody. So all of our Ocaar members will start to just melt into the community. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to try to be a building. We're just going to try to be a real resource for everybody that's coming around and coming up. Shout out to Rich City Rides. They do a Sunday ride every Sunday, and it's family orientated, good music, and we ride probably to Berkeley Pier, or we just ride out. So just come down there Sundays and ride out. They have Fix It Fridays also. So if you need a bike, you can go down there and get your bike fixed or pick up a bike. They've given away over 3,000 bikes. So Rich City Rides is a good thing. Also, I want to give a shout out to Galia at Gratitude. I think she's going to play the therapist in my video in the process. So I want to give a shout out to Gratitude. A lot of people will be graduating this year, so go down there and get your Kente claws. She got them for discount. Just go down there, get the Kente claws, and then go to Diego. He has an embroidery lady there, left side printing. Go to Diego, get your stuff done. It's early, but I hope everybody is graduating. And if you're not, well, get one anyway because they look good. And that's the gist of the whole thing. The Beats by the Bay movie, Finders Keepers, starring comedian Bud and Clep Cleckley, is coming out. We're going to do a red carpet event at CoBiz. I think probably in the late May, because it's done. Everything is done. We doing aesthetics now to the movie so it look, watermarks and everything. Raven is working on it right now. And shout out to Court Banks. He did the sound on it. Dad Daniels, the Sugarcane, they working on it. The Under album is about to come out. My album, Gospel, is done. I just haven't recorded. I'm gonna go talk to Dre and see if I can record it there. We moving, and I'm happy that other people in our network is moving and growing, and we can help people achieve. That's the whole goal. That was the whole goal from the beginning. I posted something today about people trying to manipulate you, but they don't know what motivates you. So what they end up doing is emulating you, and which is a way of them to, just destroy you. So I said it in rhyme before, but I can't think of how I said it. So emulate, manipulate, demonstrate. I don't know. Capitulate. Anyway. So we good. We good. We got the streams set up, and that's the other thing because we want to make sure that we can find ways to make these streams, huge. Because I still work, and I am doing a lot while still doing a 9-hour-a-day job. But a lot of this projects wouldn't have been funded if I wasn't working. So it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse. But hopefully soon, the payoff will come and we'll be able to, full time. The 11 series, I had to push it back. My album, I had to push back because I'm trying to get podcasts out. I'm trying to get people so that they can get their voices out. But mine is being stifled. That's another thing for another show. I do have to talk about that because I don't want people to take what I'm doing for and that's the thing. Some people take what you do for yourself personal as a front to them. And I'm learning that people, you can tell who you're dealing with by how they talk to you. You can tell when you tell them good news. That's your good news only, nothing to do with them. You're going to end up hurt because you will say, hey, I did this. They're like, oh, okay. So you did your little nigga. And I do that. I say little, but I don't say it like little. I don't mean it as it's just an adjective that I use, which I am fighting to not use because I know how it feels to be called something little. And people probably don't mean it that way, but I'm just saying be careful of what you say and how you say it because people are listening and talking and thinking. And you got to put people's feelings in context most of the time, but, I do it because I know I do it, so I have to stop doing that. Anyway, this has been your How Do You View You episode with your host, Griffinstein. So the red carpet event, if you would like a ticket, we're probably going to go through Bashworthy. LaMarla, she works at CoBiz, here at CoBiz. This is all filmed at CoBiz. I'm going to start shouting out CoBiz because people don't understand that you can come to CoBiz and produce a show. You can come to, all of my shows have been at except for the ones that was at my house. You could tell those, the different ones, but that was at the height of the pandemic. So you can come to CoBiz and learn. You can come to CoBiz and teach. You can come to CoBiz and do anything. So you learn to speak CoBizian. So when I'm telling you these things, I'm gonna start pressing CoBiz more because you need to be here. We need to be here. It's a space for us, and there's ways. There's ways to do everything that you hope and dream, but you can't get it sitting down, and you can't get it with your hands out. To climb, you need both hands. So that's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna go into it. But if your hustle is struggling, it's probably you. That's the reason. It can't be the hustle, because if you was hustling, you was hustling. So again, podcast at itsthedark.com if you would like a ticket or a thing to it. Just put an RSVP in and request it. And I think we are trying to do it big, like swag bags and everything. We want to invite the Post, the Standard. We shot most of it in Richmond, and people will be able to see. But contact went to Atlanta, so some of the footage, and it just gives it a depth I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it, and they're already about to start shooting another movie for the 30 days, and the Finest Keepers. We probably will start shooting that in August. I'm gonna take like 6 months away from. I'm gonna still do my podcast, but everything else I'm gonna try to put a pause on because I got to get my 11th. I pushed that back. I pushed my album back. It probably come out on May 1st, which anyway, we do what we do. But yeah, so I have to put me first for a second, just so that, I get out what I need to get out. Because the 11 series is going to be crazy. It's like a documentary, but it's just a day of a life. And I ran the trailer, but I didn't post it. I just put it on a story so it would leave afterward. But it was good. I like the idea of it. The sound ain't as good as I like, but I'm going to just subtitle it. And, that's the other thing I want to tell people is, don't judge people by the products. And I know that sounds funny, but sometimes you have to think about the art of it. Like what went into that. It's like people that say, this new tape is garbage, or this album is garbage. Yeah, but he put this together. Regardless if it don't sound good to you, sometimes you just have to step back and appreciate the art of what's going on. There's not enough people doing that. Everybody's trying to be so cynical now. And it is really a form of hating and a self-hate, I would say. Like, how you going to do this when you ain't this or you ain't that? But just I'm trying to reach everybody with open arms. It's just hard to hug people when they punching you, verbally. It's just, hey, I'm trying to be a good person. But you really, most people don't. That's not what gets sales is good person. You got to be a duplicit. Yeah, anyway, that's a subject for another show. This has been your episode of How Do You View You with your host, Griffinstein. I like to thank everybody. I try to thank everybody every time because I know it's rough to watch a podcast, and I know I ain't much to look at, but it's rough. To get people to do what you need to do. I'm on episode, I think this is 37, and I probably only get like 15, 20, maybe 30 views, but I have to do it. I said I was going to do 60. So we doing it. Eventually, hopefully what'll happen is I'll get that buzz and then everybody will go back. So the content is there. Go to DarkNetwork247.com. The content is there. On YouTube, we've been pumping it out. The cooking show. We added Yada B. Mary B. Poppins. Mary B. Poppins pop-up shop is podcasting with us now. We melanated harmonies. Just, I know it's rough. Life is what it is, but we appreciate everything that everybody does. Peace.
And you know what it is. W's. Get it. They say I'm heartless, but I'm not, though. Don't have to prove it, keep it music, Southside, birth the psycho. A public threat like a sideshow. So gather round, enjoy the sound while the rubber and the pipes roll.